The Alpha Sessions with Emma Joyce.
Welcome back to the show, Ebony Buckle. It kind of feels like we've come full circle because we've said this before, like you were the last session we had in person and now we're online. And obviously we had no idea at the time what was about to hit us in the face.
Because it was all getting quite serious and I think we were quite nervous about, like, do we shake hands or we don't?
But what was weird was we made a conscious effort to not hug, but yeah, I've seen that there's pictures of us with our arms around each other. And I think at that point we just like didn't really know what the deal was. So we thought,
no. We got carried away.
Easy to do, to be fair.
Yeah.
So how's this year been for you?
Oh, that's a very big question. It feels just massive, and I was just saying to you before, like I feel like a different person in a way. I keep looking back at, because we started doing live shows at the beginning of lockdown, kind of live in the lounge stuff, and I do feel like I was it's just like watching a stranger, but there's been so much going on and there's been so much awful stuff, but at the same time we've kind of had to really just stay down. Stay in
and down.
Yeah. We've had to really just, focus on what we're making and the music, because Nick still teaches, which is great, and I've been teaching on Zoom, singing lessons and things, but apart from that, it's it's actually great. I've got quite a few students in China, so they're really gorgeous, and yeah, we've sort of learnt how to, how to work Zoom. Like I can't sing at the same time as them, and like if I want to make them count breathing, I have to like count on the camera so that I can hear them. There's lots of stuff, but it's really kept us going. But apart from that, there's just been not really any work. So yeah, we've just sort of focused on the album and on making music, and I joined this group called Girls to the Front, which is all about empowering women in music, because as I'm sure you know, there's still not enough, and although I was thinking about you guys are all over it. You're like,
but we did it. What's weird is we didn't do it intentionally, it just kind of happened that way. And so now we're a bit like, if they're female, cool. If they're male, also cool. If they're non-binary, also cool. So we'll just roll with whatever works. And basically, like, if we like your music, then you're on. Happy days.
Yeah, and that's how it should be, really, isn't it?
Definitely, I think so.
Yeah, but yeah, so I joined this group, and I think sometimes there's a lot of female musicians or female identifying musicians who don't feel confident enough in themselves, because there are a lot of sort of knockbacks, and it's been really helpful. And we were sort of meeting twice a week on Zoom, and it wasn't just about airing grievances, it was actually about like learning about more about the industry, kind of, and we've all sort of supported each other, which was amazing because it didn't feel as lonely. So I've been doing lots of things like that. I've been going to like 2 online workshops a week, and then I started a Patreon. I think I was talking about that back when we had our last interview.
I think you were just about to start it, or had just started it.
I think I just started it, yeah. And so I'm not sure how many I had back then, but I've got 59 people now subscribing to me monthly.
So
it's amazing, yeah, and it's actually really changed as well, I think the output that we've had, because every month we do a new track from the album. We share only with the patrons, and I do a poem a week, and anytime we have a new song we share it, and it's actually been really cool to I don't know, it's kind of like having a safe environment to share everything that's not quite there. Yeah, anyway, sorry, I've been rambling on for a bit.
No, it's really good, because I think you've touched on something that's quite topical, which is like just streaming at the moment, and artists and the deals that they have, even the the artists that are signed with like major labels and whatever, and the amount of income that artists get or don't get, as the case may be, through streaming sites. And I think more and more people are jumping on Patreon. So for that reason, so you've almost like been a stormtrooper. Is that the word? Where you like?
I'll take it. I mean, I think
Stormtrooper.
that's
There
bad,
you
guys.
I mean, like a leader in a storm as opposed to a stormtrooper. But
I'm a leader, and no, do you know what? I'll be a stormtrooper, and then
Okay,
the
cool.
enemy can be crossfire. But no, you're absolutely right, and it is. I think, especially for like small independent artists like me, I don't necessarily want a label, and I don't really want to give too much of my intellectual property away. And so much of the music industry is about numbers and about how many numbers you have, how many followers, how many listens, how many, and you kind of lose the quality there, which is how many people actually really care about your music and that you can connect to directly. And so I've sort of had to rethink and try not to feel that pressure of like, oh my God, I'm not getting enough followers on Spotify, and actually go, well, you've gone a different route. So that stuff doesn't really matter to you. Focus more on the, direct communication and things. And it's been really cool. So yeah, I'm a big ambassador for Patreon.
No, absolutely. Have you felt the pressure to be more creative now that you've had all this time that you wouldn't normally have?
Yeah, and I think especially at first, at the beginning of lockdown, everyone, it seemed like, was like, felt this really big urge to try to kind of help, and the only way that some of us know how to help is to like sing and put music out there, and it was kind of good being part of like the support network that I was in, because I think because we all were feeling similarly, we could share that, and some people were like, I can't, it's not happening for me at the moment. I think this year has just because you have time off doesn't necessarily mean that you're in the right headspace to create. And this kind of situation, like it's limbo, we're all waiting, and actually that, I think mentally that's exhausting to be in, because you don't have any certainty and you kind of can't think into the future too far. So it's like you're just sort of hanging and waiting, and so yeah, I mean, that's probably why I'm so grateful for Patreon, because it has kept me having to it's given me a real purpose and a focus, because I don't know how I would have been so creative this year without it.
It's so hard. We chatted about this last time, I think, and I think we at the time obviously didn't know how important it was going to be, but I think we touched on it briefly, how when listeners listen to your tracks, they use it to escape, and when you write your tracks to escape. And I think at the time we thought, oh cool, there's loads of stuff on we need to escape, whereas I feel like your tracks now have been so prominent in terms of escaping.
We really need to escape now
from like the crazy pandemic world.
Yep. Yeah, I think yeah, that's it's, yeah, I think I hope that's what that I can give people is just come along to this weird universe that I've built.
But you totally do. And I can't, like, we've tuned into a couple of live streams over the last few months, and we've watched the songs that you've sent in and loads of other stuff, and like total escapism for that 3 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever it ends up having to be. And I think when I watched back the video from pre the pandemic, I just kept thinking, we just didn't know what was about to hit us, did we?
No, not at all. And it's so weird, isn't it? Like I don't know what you would have thought or done if you'd been told what was going to happen back then. You probably, we probably would have fallen apart.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
One of those things that's better not to know.
Yeah, I think so. the gradual happening of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think you can go anywhere in your mind. So.
Talking
somewhere in this conversation I get lost and lose momentum, struggling to stay here where you are. Yeah, somehow my imagination's taking hold and my attention's lost our sight and sound of where you are. My mind goes la 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 la, my mind says la 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 la. Suddenly I'm swimming through a cannon-foddered land of blue, wearing purple just to show I care. There's elephants and waves of gold, an actual life-size Russian doll, and at the top, been sleeping through the air. Somewhere in this conversation, I get lost and lose momentum, struggling to stay here where you are. Yeah, somehow my imagination's taking hold and my attention's lost our sight and sound of where you are. My mind goes la 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 la, my mind says la 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 la. Don't take offense at my indifference, I'm not trying to ignore you. If you knew the things I saw, you would be la 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 la, come with me, la 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 la, sing with me, la 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 la, come with me, la 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 la.
The Alpha Sessions with Emma Joyce.
Just as the pandemic started, you released Ghost, which was a great song that you had been, I want to say, sitting on for quite a while. Do you want to tell us what that was about?
Yeah, so you keep saying escape it. That was actually not great escapism. That was a pretty depressing number, wasn't it?
Okay, apart from that one.
I really brought everyone down at the beginning, and now I'm gonna
But then if you start down, then you can slowly, gradually build yourself up. So it'll be fine.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Ghost we had written about 5 years ago, and recorded kind of on and off 5 years ago as well. And I think it's just releasing music, I don't know, it's I don't know why it took us this long, but it's a really personal song. That's probably why. And I think I just said probably.
I knew what you meant.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, and so Nick and I had visa issues. My husband Nick and I, he's not here, sorry, he sends his love. But my visa was refused when we got married, and I had to go back to Australia, and he was here, and it was nearly 2 years that we were separated, and also, you know, any kind of life purpose that I had was just on hold. So yeah, I think that's why when I talk about limbo, like I really do understand what it feels like. And I really lost my way, and I mean, I was really lucky. I had beautiful family and friends around me the whole time. And yeah, so I think in a way, I don't think we quite realized how big an impact that had on us. You know, we came back together and had to kind of relearn how to be with each other again after nearly 2 years. And and going from like a small town by the sea where I've been living with my parents to London again, and like, you know, temping in an office and trying to be an actor and doing all this stuff, and it was really full on. And I think it's only in the last few years we've realized how much we were trying to deal with it, the kind of shockwaves of that. And so it kind of felt like a way of letting it go a bit, releasing the song. And I filmed the music video with my brother when he came over last year. So yeah, I think it was just like, got to get this out. And I was hoping that because everyone was suddenly thrown into this really uncertain time, that perhaps it might resonate with people, I guess.
Give them hope even.
Yeah, that it, you know, there is a light, though it will get better. And yeah, because it will.
Let's talk live streams a little bit, because I know that you've done quite a few, but also, as I'm sure many other artists have, found it really hard to not have that applause. What was that like for you?
Yeah, it's really weird, because you just get you kind of, I think audiences are such an important part of live anything, and that kind of energy that you sense of people, and even while you're playing you can see people's reactions, and you can gauge how your stage chat is going, you know, because you can hear people laughing, and just not being able to hear that. And I've had, you know, we've done it on YouTube and people have been so lovely, you know, chatting in the comments and things. So I've still tried to interact because I love interacting with everyone. But it does feel, it's a weird type of exhaustion because you get the adrenaline of performing live, but it doesn't go anywhere. So you finish and you're like, we did it. And you're kind of like, you don't have that almost release, I guess. Yeah.
Wait, did we play?
Yeah, what did we do? But you know, it's better than nothing. And I think it's definitely opened up a whole new world of you know, because I've got quite a lot of fans in Germany and America and Australia, and so that has been really cool to be able to show them what we're like live, because yeah, so there's been highs and lows. One of the things I hated was Facebook Live, when you're singing and you just can watch the numbers disappear. Yeah, you know, which is fine. Like people have so much on and they have so much to do, but obviously in a live show in a venue you wouldn't get someone just leaving. You'd hope.
When these first started out at the beginning of the pandemic, I can understand how we could see you but you couldn't see us. So I'd be paranoid that like we'd be watching a live stream but yet you'd also see us at the same time. And I don't know why, but I visualized the artist with a big screen having loads of like little boxes as if you were on a massive Zoom chat, with each listener or viewer like watching you from a separate space. And the whole concept of that not being a thing just totally blew my mind.
You really like nodding along.
Yeah, I was like, wait, they're not watching me? What?
I mean, that sounds fun too, though.
Yeah, it sounds weird.
It does sound weird. Yeah.
But what's it like having that constant chat window open? Is it kind of like being heckled, but in a show?
Well, there's about a 30-second delay. So you talk and then someone responds to your joke or something, and then you're like, oh yeah. Or you know, you finish the song and you're talking, and then just as you're about to start the next one, everyone's finishing the song that you just finished.
So it's kind of like an applause, but on delay.
Yeah, it's like a delayed applause. And actually the last gig we did, we had a few people bubbling with us, and they're all in the room and they clapped, and I didn't expect it, and it was weirdly emotional because I was like, whoa, yeah, I forgot what it's like when you have physical response. And we had our beautiful housemate Richard on sound all year, as I'm sure you would have heard us mention, and he was pressing basically whenever I start singing, he puts the reverb back on, and he's very good at it because I do often waffle for ages, and sometimes it seems like I'm about to sing, but I keep talking. And so he was great, but we decided that it would be better if he didn't clap, because I think one person clapping is worse than no person clapping in a way.
We had this, we went to see some artists on an outdoor stage over the weekend, and it was freezing and I was wearing gloves, and you're trying so hard to applause, but applause with gloves on is just not the one. It just feels like a fail. You're like...
You're like
I'm
bruised
so
hands, but no
sorry.
sound.
Wanted to ask about your Loved campaign, because that's really awesome, and it feels like it's a single but also like an all-round campaign, statement, announcement, merch thing.
Yeah, yeah.
How did all that come about, and like what's the meaning behind it?
So yeah, so I wrote Your Loved again a few years ago. Our music's really taken its time to get out. And I was just in a really kind of dark place, probably from the repercussions of the visa stuff, who can say?
Yeah.
But I just needed to hear just that kind of, it's okay, just take a breath, everything's going to be fine. And sometimes when I don't know, like if you ever write out all of the thoughts in your head, because there's too many
I think I'm
sometimes.
scared to be fair.
You're scared to.
Yeah.
It really helps, yeah, because I think once you like pull it out, then it's out. But yeah, I used to write like, and then I would write a response in a different handwriting.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was always just like, I love you, everything is going to be fine, don't worry about that, and you're okay. And so I guess that's what this song is really, is kind of it's a response to that. But I wanted to put that out to people, and we actually had slightly different plans for Your Loved, because I have a beautiful trans friend called Andy, and we were going to film a music video telling her story of her kind of discovery of who she was. And we had everything ready. I had like a director, I had film crew, it was all going. And then someone that we know, who my husband, Nick's in another band, and they'd had band rehearsal, and one of them came down with COVID. So we had to isolate for 2 weeks and cancelled it. So yeah, I'm quite gutted about that, because that was sort of that was going to be the point of Your Loved, and we're still going to make it, I think. So the video that we ended up making was sort of it's a lyric video, and it's beautifully animated by the amazing Karim Kamal, but it wasn't the one that we'd kind of been planning and working on. So I think we're still going to do that next year, and I kind of want to make it its own project. And we've been talking to Mermaids UK, which is yeah. And so for now, I've made all the merch, and I'm going to give 100% of profits to Mermaids. So
Really cool.
yeah, I think the Your Loved line will be like the kind of Mermaids line. But so then as well, what I did is create a Your Loved club, because I wanted, one thing that I've realized doing this, actually, it's been a big learning lesson, is because what I did was I asked everyone to send me a picture of themselves giving themselves a hug. And I've made like a collage of them all. And in return, they got a 5-track EP and access to my Patreon for a month for free. But what I learned was that it's actually quite confronting to give yourself a hug and then take a picture of it.
It feels a bit weird.
It does. And I don't think we're used to saying I love you to ourselves. We're very good at saying it to other people, but I think saying it to ourselves seems to be, understandably, tricky. But yeah, so I did have some beautiful people who joined in, and some people just wrote to me and said, I'm not in the right place at the moment to do that. And I was like, come in the club anyway, come on. But yeah, so that was my sort of, I wanted to start just a bit of a Your Loved kind of movement. And I got an Instagram filter made as well, because I'm trying to get more into the tech world.
How's that
and
going?
it was really fun. Yeah, so it kind of became this big, like, it's like the Your Loved franchise, I don't know. But yeah, so we've still got future plans for that song, I think.
I never intended to lie to me and my little one. It's the season for this, and I'm not sure that I can fight this time. And if I'm dreaming all this, I'll close my eyes against the night. this time. Keep holding on, my dear, we're just the same. For all you know, it's only just a game we play. So take a breath and breathe it in. You're loved, you know. Where's the reason for this? What on earth should I have done this time? And I can't breathe in all this. I'll wrap my arms around my lungs in time. Keep holding on, my dear, we're just the same. And don't believe there's only you to blame for this. So take a breath and breathe it in. You're loved, you know. After all, it's only skin. You're loved, you know. And we go ah, 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 and we go ah, ah, keep holding on, my dear, we're just the same. And don't believe there's only you to blame for this. So take a breath and breathe it in. You're loved, you know. After all, it's only skin. You're loved, you know. Take a breath and breathe it in. You're loved, you know. After all, it's only skin. You're loved, you know. And we go ah, 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 and we go ah, ah,
The Alpha Sessions with Emma Joyce.
I wanted to ask also about like poetry, but also songs, because you've got songs that you write that are obviously have lyrics and melodies, and that gets built up. But then you also have poetry that you put on your Patreon, and I just wanted to know what helps you decide if it's a song or a poem.
I think I'm not sure, because often I write songs just at the piano, not necessarily with lyrics ready.
Okay.
And then sometimes I'll sort of work out a melody and start singing and kind of realize what it's about. And then I might go, oh, I wrote a poem about that. Let's go see if I can get some more lyrics from there. And then sometimes, I will. Yeah, I don't know how I decide. Sometimes when I'm writing it, it's got a rhythm, and it, some of my poems have a rhythm. Some of them are a bit more free form, and so they don't suit the kind of song structure so well, perhaps. Yeah, I haven't nailed that one down.
So when you were on the show last time, we spoke about Susan, and she's gone to China, or she's travelled to China.
Yeah, she went to China.
Bye.
Put the kids some moves. Yeah, my friend, I have a beautiful friend who runs a musical theatre school in China.
Ooh.
And he got stuck over here because China closed its borders at the beginning of the lockdown. And so he was sort of separated from all of his students, and he ran like this amazing series of workshops, and he got loads of people to run them. And so I taught them Susan one day, and they were so gorgeous because they all sent back videos of themselves. They'd practiced it, and yeah, and a few of them are my students now. They're really, really lovely. So that was cool. Susan's very pleased.
I'm sure she is pleased. Would she ever go to China on her own, do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, I think she would. I think, she wants to find her own independence. I was just talking today about doing a children's book called
you'd be
Ebony
so good at that. So good at that. It was so good. I think last time I said that Susan should be the intro to a kids' TV theme. Yeah,
and do you know what? She's like, I've gotten quite a loyal fan base with the under twos now.
Nice.
Yeah, they're really avid Susan fans. So I think if I can cultivate that as they grow up, I'll have. Yeah,
that'd be so good.
I'm getting the next generation
in. You also produced 2 other songs for us for the session, Immortal and Russian Dolls. Are they going to be on the new album coming up next year?
Immortal is, yes.
Whoa.
Russian Dolls, I think, is going to be the album after.
Okay. Wow, that's advanced.
Yeah. Yeah, so from February, what I've decided to do is release each song as a single for the year next year, so that
so that's the year planned out and sorted.
That's done. I'll just go to bed now.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I hope was a good idea. What I wanted was to it's kind of conceptual, the album. We've talked about escaping to other worlds and things, and that's what I want this album to be, is like a real come with us. We're going to go into this other universe where there's all of this other stuff going on, and so there's lots of, I don't know, it's sort of existential crisis-y mixed with space time. And yeah, so I kind of wanted to make next year all about that, and just make it this kind of world that people can be part of. So that's all sort of been in the planning stages at the moment.
It's going to be so good.
I'm so excited. I can't.
Great.
It's keeping me up at night, but I'm very, very excited.
It's going to be so good. If people want to find the album and follow you online and do all that stuff, where can they go? What can they do?
Instagram at Ebony Buckle Official, Facebook at Ebony Buckle Official. I would love you to join my mailing list, because I'm going to be kind of sharing the album journey next year. And also my Patreon, if you are interested, if anyone's interested, you can sign up from £2 to £50 a month. So there's different tiers, you get different access, but it's a really fun world. And then, YouTube, I'm on YouTube. If you Google me there, I've got a merch store. There's a link, the link that's in my bio on my Instagram will take you to all the different, my mailing list and Patreon and the merch store and everything. So yeah, I think that's everything. You can, Spotify is great. Please follow me on Spotify. As much as I say I don't like the numbers, it does help.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me. You guys have been so supportive all year, so I really appreciate it.
No, look, you've been producing great escape music, so all good. And hopefully one day when we're allowed, we can get back in the studio and get you guys back and do another session.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah, it'd be really fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here I dream I am immortal, a lonely soldier pushing stars across the sky. Looking on the earth I fought for, moving mountains just to kill the time. Till I met a man that I could love. I hid my feathered wings and let him find me. If I had a heart, it would have stopped the moment that I held his gaze. And all the gods sent their mighty voices. It cannot happen now, they said. It cannot be. The air I breathe is not for his lungs. So I traveled to the ancient realm, where all living things must one day return. I fought the furies and I bared my grief, but Hades turned his face away. And all the gods sent their mighty voices. It cannot happen now, they said. It cannot be. I took him in my arms, but I flew too high. And they tore at us till we were in pieces, falling from the sky into the sea. Oh, let him be Poseidon, for though I cannot swim, I would give my wings for him to be Poseidon. Let him be Poseidon, for though I cannot swim, I would give my wings for him to be Poseidon. Let him be Poseidon, for though I cannot swim, I would give my wings for him to be Poseidon. Let him be Poseidon, for though I cannot swim, I would give my wings for him to be Poseidon. Let him be Poseidon, for though I cannot swim, I would give my wings for him to be Poseidon, so I never have to watch him fall away again.